Hello there, wellness entrepreneur. Welcome back. Today is a big celebration. I'm recording right now, episode 300. That's right. I've had 300 episodes on the Ignite Your Wellness. That's how it first started as a podcast when I was more in my brick and mortar and working as a practitioner, a yoga therapist, physical therapist, coach, massage therapist, body worker, healer, all the certification. Back when I first had my brick and mortar practice to now it's evolved and transformed into Ignite Your Wellness business. And we're going to start with some celebrations because that's what I do with my one-to-one clients. We start with some wins and celebrations. So I just want to thank you for being a loyal listener. I know some of you have been following me and watching and listening since the very beginning. And actually, this episode started off as a Facebook Live back in the years when I first started my business in 2016. So 2016 moving into 2017, I had a lot of imposter syndrome. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself for sure, did not like showing up on social media, but I did like spreading hope about healing and transformation and wellness and feeling better in your body and working towards the life that I knew my patients, my clients really wanted to live and not be held back by health struggles or body challenges. And I knew I was connected because I was teaching out a lot in the yoga community. And I love connecting with people that I had connections to a lot of practitioners from being a massage therapist prior, being a personal trainer prior to going to physical therapy school, and then going to physical therapy school and making more connections there that I thought I could bring hope to social media by starting off with some interviews. So that's how this podcast first evolved. It was me doing Facebook Lives because at the time I was feeling that Facebook, there was a lot going on then, just like there is now with negativity and politics. And I thought that my community, my Facebook page could be a source of light and hope for people by just interviewing ways to heal and promote wellness and health by interviewing practitioners. So that's how it all first started. And through that process, I interviewed so many skilled practitioners. Not all of them are here on the podcast, but if you scroll back to the very first like 10, 20 episodes, and maybe even more, there are a few of those practitioners that I did interview as Facebook Lives. Not all the Facebook Lives I was able to download. So that's why some are not on there. Not because I didn't love the interview with the practitioner. It's more of a tech hang up because I had no idea I was going to do a podcast and that I should save them a certain way. But I was able to download some of them, and you can hear those episodes from way back in the day. And through interviewing these practitioners, so many people would tell me, "Oh, Allison, you should start a podcast. You should start a podcast." And I just had, again, all these imposter syndrome thoughts like, who am I to do that? No one wants to hear my voice. I remember when I recorded my first solo episodes, how scary and awkward it was for me to just talk into the mic and wonder what people would think or even wonder what to say, even though I had all this information inside of me. So that is one huge win is that if you can scroll back to those early episodes and see how far, I mean, I've had people tell me, Allison, it even feels like your voice has changed. And maybe it has because I have been working on my throat chakra and projecting from my solar plexus and confidence. Some of it is also my technology has changed. Like I've upgraded my mic and my audio setup through coaching with my podcast producers and editors. So the audio quality has also actually evolved over time, but you can see a lot of evolution. And I just want to celebrate if you've been here since the beginning, following me on Facebook, and you're still following me now. I want to celebrate you and your commitment and for supporting me for so long. I also want to celebrate myself for sticking with it and going through all these transformations. And I hope watching someone evolve publicly, that gives you inspiration and hope that you don't have to start out perfectly. You can just start out with an idea and bring, for me, it was from a place of service and connection to my audience and hope and bringing people possibility and potential. And if you have a burning desire to help people, which I know you do, because that's why you're in the wellness industry, that you can take an idea and just run with it and evolve with it as your ideas come. And eventually I did get the confidence to start the podcast. And that's where I am now. Prior to Spotify buying out Anchor, I started on the Anchor platform way back then. I think it was Anchor. I also want to celebrate that this podcast is in about 47 or more countries. That's amazing. And it's in the top 0.1% of overall podcasts worldwide and the top 50 of entrepreneurship podcasts worldwide. So again, thank you. Thank you for being a listener, no matter where you've come in my podcast journey, whether this is the first episode you're ever listening to, or if you've listened to all 300, thank you so much for your support. If you haven't left a review yet, I would love that. I would love to hear from you, from your words of celebrating 300 episodes or your favorite episode or just why you love the podcast. Please leave me a review. I read them personally and they really mean so much to me. And it isn't something that truthfully I've done well marketing, leave a review, leave a review. I've not done that well. So I actually don't have a ton of reviews. So it would mean a lot if you did leave a review for the podcast and share it with a friend that needs to hear any of the episodes. I'm going to go through the top 10 episode wrap up. So if one of those episodes really speaks to you, you can save it, share it with a friend who needs to hear that specific topic. That would, again, help us. I would love to break the top 10 entrepreneurship podcasts over time. That's a goal I'm working towards, and all of this will help that and get more visibility for this podcast so it can help more entrepreneurs, because I know it is a hard time to be an entrepreneur with what's happening in the economy and the world right now. It can feel overwhelming and scary. And I would like to continue to be a voice of light and hope for people so you can continue to help more people, because as you help more people as a practitioner, more people will get the help they need in their relationships or their body or their health or their career, all these areas of holistic wellness for the human beings, for the person holistically. It will help the world and continue to bring light to the world. That's my mission and my purpose. So if you could help support that, I would love that. And I also want to share this journey with you because sometimes we see people that seem to get successful overnight or just like magnify their growth and their revenue and quickly skyrocket to virality on Instagram or big revenue numbers. And I just want to show also another perspective of what it looks like to grow a sustainable and successful business. It sometimes is just showing up consistently in small ways. So, for example, taking that idea to do Facebook Lives, even though I was awkward, even though sometimes maybe they got only a couple, like 2, 3 views and no comments, or maybe one like, I just kept going and trying and refining and growing my voice and growing my confidence and growing how I work and connect with people and watching my audience slowly grow from a few hundred people on Facebook. I showed up on Facebook late because I was so introverted and so shy and so fearful of what other people would think and being afraid to say the wrong thing or be criticized, that I showed up to social media late in the game. And I think I didn't get onto social media till like 2012 or 2013. I'm not sure. It might have been a little bit earlier. Facebook, I came on late. Instagram, I was one of the first users on Instagram. But even then, I showed up in a way that wasn't showing me, so to speak. My husband and I, we would go for a walk along the beach here in San Diego. I used to love doing a yoga flow. He has an artistic side and he would take pictures of me doing a yoga flow, but it was from a silhouette perspective. So my body, you couldn't see my face, it was darkened. And we would play around with the shadows on the beach or the reflection in the water. That is how my Instagram channel first grew, was first through these pictures. And my Facebook audience grew through these lives, both of them from 0 people to a few hundred followers. And now I think I have close to 8,000 followers on Facebook, on Instagram, close to 11,000 followers. LinkedIn is a newer channel I've been starting to play around with this year. I have close to 5,000 followers on there, or just over 5,000 followers on there. YouTube, I'm also playing around with and now recording these podcast episodes and uploading them there. So it's been an evolution where my audience has just year after year slowly grown. And by doing that, my business has slowly grown year after year. The number of people I work with, my revenue. And what has actually decreased is the amount of hours I work or the amount of time I spend worrying or stressed out. I feel that my nervous system capacity has really evolved over the past years. I really healed a lot of trauma. I'm still working through that I've experienced in my youth and through the years so that I can show up bigger, help more people, believe in myself more. And all of that has really transformed in not just my business, but how I show up personally. So my daughter and I just came back from a lovely trip in Florida. We were there almost 2 weeks traveling cross country through an airplane. Someday we might do a road trip. I've been thinking about that. My daughter and I, we've done a few road trips together. Every summer I try to plan a mommy and daughter bonding trip with her, and we've done Zion before. We've gone to Rochester, New York, where I grew up, her and I. So we've traveled to different parts of the country. Most frequently, we do go to Florida since I have a bunch of family members there. And we spent almost 2 weeks there. And I spent over a week of just taking off. And we did a lot of beach time, a lot of pool time. It was really lovely. I really felt in that summertime feeling. I love summer. So, summer solstice, we spent the whole day at the beach, took advantage of the long day and the beautiful sun that was there. And we had so much fun. All my family members that were in the area were there. My sister and her girlfriend came in. We just had a really wonderful time with my niece and my parents. It was really special. So I will forever always have those memories of all of us together as my parents age. I'm very aware of that. And I can look back without regret and say, like, I really enjoyed my summers with my daughter while she was out of school and she was school age, and my parents as they were aging and getting older. And my niece, it's hard because some of you know my brother, his daughter, he passed away unexpectedly about 2 years ago to this time. So it really was a wonderful connecting trip and replenishing and healing for me and hopefully my daughter. Even though I don't know if healing is the right word for her, her was just summer enjoyment and being a kid. But to see that through her eyes and spend that time, I will be forever grateful. And then grateful for my businesses because I could do client calls there and we could extend our time. And because I am online, I do have the freedom to travel and do a bit of work. My whole goal, and this is what I help my one to one clients with as well, is deciding, when you will work and when you will take off, being able to take a trip and do both, but not feel like you have to work every day and you can actually just enjoy the time as well. And so I feel like this trip I really did that well. I loved the time I had off. I really loved the time that I had planned to work and do client calls. It was really productive. So it was a really wonderful trip and it just comes at a wonderful time to be celebrating this 300 episode. And so if you feel like you're on the journey of entrepreneurship, but it is going slow, just stay the course because sometimes slow and steady, it gets you to where you want to go. I don't want to say wins the race because really the only person you're competing with is yourself. And you can compete with yourself if you want. That sometimes is very motivating. For me, it's gamifying things like always looking at my visibility, my views, my audience size, click rates, all those things. I gamify it that way and am competitive with myself that way. But again, I've never gone viral on Instagram. I've had posts that have done really well on YouTube. I have, gone viral for me at 30,000 views, but I haven't, hit 1 million views. I've had clients that have hit 1 million views or 500,000 views on Instagram. But here I am, and I'm still growing and still signing clients from all the social media channels and my email list and growing my business and revenue. And I just want to show you that you don't have to be an overnight success. You don't have to put a ton of pressure on yourself and work around the clock and miss moments with your family. You can deal with hard things in life. If you've been on my journey, you've heard me go through my Lynch syndrome diagnosis, which I was back when I was doing those Facebook lives. That is the time when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I was not publicly sharing it because at the time I did feel so much shame about being a wellness practitioner and not feeling well, getting diagnosed with a health diagnosis that I thought I could prevent. And I thought I did something wrong. And the Lynch syndrome diagnosis, which is a genetic mutation, you can head back to previous episodes to learn more about learning more about myself and my family history and how to take care of myself in a more efficient and effective way, working with my own health and wellness practitioners and Western medicine. And now I've been 7 years cancer free for someone with Lynch. This is really good. I will be honest, through the past couple of years, I have had cancer come back, but in very early stages. So it was able to be removed because I do grow a business and carve out time for my own cancer screens. I go to my colonoscopies, I go to my skin checks. I've had preventative surgeries such as hysterectomy, removing everything, and going into menopause at age 40. And so I've dealt with a lot of health challenges, but still was able to grow my business. As I mentioned, I've dealt with really hard life circumstances of my brother passing away unexpectedly and grieving, and I still grieve him to this day. Even talking about it here makes me emotional, but I'm still able to grow my business and show up and connect with my audience and take time for what I need. And I just want to be an example of this for yourself. I don't want to say that it's been all rainbows and daisies and unicorns because entrepreneurship, the truth is, it is hard. There are times where some of my coach friends, because I invest a lot in my business and learn from mentors and coaches, and I'm in masterminds. And so I've developed a lot of really wonderful friendships along the way with other coaches and practitioners. And sometimes we joke like we have off days, we have days where our revenue or months where our revenue is low, and it does bring up money scarcity. And I look at some of the employees of Trader Joe's, and that looks like a fun job. Maybe I should go and do that. That thought does enter your mind at times. Or if I'm going to UCSD and I'm seeing the staff of UCSD and I'm like, maybe I should get back into healthcare and maybe even do front office admin for check-ins for patients when entrepreneurship seems hard, that grass is greener. And I remember and I tell myself why, because I've been in mill clinics. I've had my multiple six-figure student loan debt and been in a mill clinic where I'm working with 5 patients at one time and getting to the clinic at 7 in the morning and not leaving till 6 or 6:30 at night and seeing over 20 people in one day, sometimes 5 people at the same time, and having bosses discourage me from taking them into a closed room where their nervous system can decompress and I can help them to fully heal using energetics in my hands and yoga, and how they're telling me that's woo and not real physical therapy and not backed by science, because over a decade ago, there wasn't as much research, but I knew that the holistic healing was really what was needed. I knew from my own story of healing and how I grew a business and was able to do it my way and help people holistically fully heal, and how many people that have come to me and say, Allison, I've been to 9 other practitioners, so many chiros, so many acupuncturists, so many physical therapists, and I don't know if my body can heal. I don't know if I can feel better. Western medicine has told me like, this is what I'm stuck with. I have to live with pain the rest of my life, and how I've been able to transform their healing journey so they know how to manage pain and feel better in their body and live their lives. That is why I'm still here, even on hard days and hard months. And hard month, I hope to show you, if your revenue is low one month, it does not have to dictate the whole year or the next 2 years. It's normal to have off days in entrepreneurship. It's normal to be scared in entrepreneurship. It's normal to have revenue dips. And that doesn't have to dictate your success or your future if you just keep going. So I'm here, and I hope this 300th episode helps you and inspires you to keep going small steps consistently most days, while being able to replenish and heal and take care of yourself along the way. And that's also why I brought in the Manifest and Move, the embodied CEO prosperity practice, the monthly practice, the first Monday of the month. Please join me. It's $20. I'll drop the link to sign up in the show notes. I feel like it's the most important work that you can do as an entrepreneur. I go to my weekly yoga classes myself in the community and online, and I have never experienced a class like this. Sometimes I attend my own recorded classes because I wish there would be a class out there specific for entrepreneurs. This class that I've created that combines somatics and visualization and manifestation and gentle movements for the body to process through stored emotions and trauma, and help you to develop your capacity to help more people and earn revenue and navigate through scary and challenging and unknown times for yourself so you can keep going as an entrepreneur. So please join me there. It is really the most important work that you can do. So I hope all this keeps you inspired to keep going and be authentic, because authenticity will beat perfection every time. You don't need to have it all figured out. In fact, if you go back to the old episodes, again, you'll hear how I messed up. The audio wasn't that great. I think I even started this podcast and I didn't have an editor. There was no intro and outro. And you can see how I've really evolved it over time. You can see my social media, how I've really evolved it all over time. And I made a lot of mistakes. Like when I transitioned from having those art yoga type pictures to having my business, I took before I came back on social media when I was pregnant with my daughter and through the birth of my daughter in her first year, I had took a break from social media for almost 2 years. And then I came back rebranded and no one knew who I was. And my account was dead for a long time. And I was able to revitalize it and bring it back. And it's gone through periods. I mean, I have over 3,000 posts. And someone with that many posts, there's a lot of people on Instagram that have hundreds, if not a million followers with that amount of posts. And I don't because I've had to really learn marketing and messaging. My practitioner brain with all this information just did not have the marketing skills to make my content relatable and concise and speaking to the problems that my audience has. I had to really learn all that. And I want you to know that you just have to start with where you are and evolve. And if you do that, you will grow. Your business will grow and people will start seeing you. Your visibility will grow because your message is important. So it's just getting out there and starting to share your work. So in this 300th episode, I can't give you 300 pieces of advice. We'd be here for a long time. But what I can do in a speed round is give you the top 10 episodes. And I had AI help me figure out what the top 10 episodes were based upon downloads, engagement, and shares across platforms. I'll highlight each one and tell you what it's about so you can go give it a listen, especially if you haven't gone back into the older episodes. You know, what's funny is I look at the top 10 episodes right here, they're all in the 200s. So that just tells me it took me 200 episodes to really kind of figure out what my audience, what you guys really wanted to hear and package it in a way that was really meaningful for you. So just know, like, sometimes it takes a while to get it right. I don't have any episodes here in prior to 200. Again, just keep going and keep trying. In fact, there's been moments, I'll be honest, where I've thought about quitting the podcast because views were low, downloads were low. I didn't really have any reviews even. And I thought, is this worth it? Do I want to keep going? And then what would happen was someone would message me and tell me, oh, Allison, that last episode really spoke to me. And I kept going. And I'm really glad I did because now I get much more episodes. The reviews, again, are still on the lower side, but I have gotten more reviews. So please, again, leave me a review if you haven't already and you do love the podcast. And my views and listens, oh my gosh, have really catapulted, have really, I don't even know, quadrupled 10 times. I haven't done the math, but have really grown. So let's go over the top 10. And I'm not sure how AI, if they gave it to me in order of descending or ascending or no particular order, we'll just say that it's the top 10. So the first one is episode 203, Facebook ad strategy with Emily Green. I'll give her a big shout out. I'm still working with her today. If you are looking for a Facebook ads strategist, she is wonderful. She'll coach you not only on just how to run ads and the tactics and the tech behind ads, but strategies. So she is so much more. She is a coach herself. So she can walk you through mindset and your whole funnel setup. So you're making sure that money you are spending on ads, because you don't want to have a successful ad, but your funnel is broken. Or for example, the emails that you're sending on the back end of that ad aren't converting, or if whatever lead magnet or wherever you're sending the ad to, like for right now, I have a $7 Instagram workshop, which I'll drop the link in the show notes you can get to, with a $97 upsell for a 30-minute strategy call with me. It's the only place you'll ever see that price and for that call. The only place you can get it is by purchasing that workshop. So you can go do that right now if you would like. But Emily did help me set up that whole funnel so you can experience that yourself. And you can get her golden insight, episode 203 with Emily. So go listen to that. Episode 283, it's the 5-step wellness pricing formula. This is a very popular episode. I've had many people message me off that episode. And it is complimentary. I have another pricing episode that is further ahead. I think it is in the 200s on pricing as well. That specific episode, 283, it does link you to that previous episode. I would listen to them both because they complement each other. And there is a free handout there, the perfect pricing matrix that you can get and do that work to really feel confident in your pricing and also know when to raise your rates, which is really good information to know right now with the uncertainty and scariness of the economy. So go ahead, listen to that one. Or if you feel like you're undercharging as well, lots of information for you there. Okay, then episode 279, From Burnout to Business Success. And that is with one of my one-to-one clients, Kirsten Warner. She's a Vancouver Island massage therapist, and you can hear about her success of both. We did a lot about work about creating a sustainable massage clinic. So she was not feeling as stressed and overwhelmed and overworking. So we really worked on her schedule, her mindset. She is an expert in bringing in an online program. She is a business coach as well, and really clarifying her niche as a business coach. She really is a systems and onboarding specialist. She's a Jane's app expert, I'll just say. So you can go listen and hear about how she really got online, brought in business coaching, and managed her schedule of growing her massage clinic and being able to do both, all while healing as well, because she went through her own injury. So go give that episode a listen. Episode 282, Building a Digital Safety Net. I think this episode is very appropriate for right now, especially, and de-risking your business. If one thing the pandemic told us showed us, for me included, I mean, I'm navigated and moved online with my cancer diagnosis and having to go through all the health challenges and not being able to work physically as a yoga teacher and do my body work, and realizing that my revenue stopped because of that, and how I brought in online programs as a practitioner, and that really supplemented my revenue and allowed me, because I was leading yoga teacher trainings all around the world at the time, to work with the requests that I got in Brazil and Portugal and work with people anywhere and expand my practice and my visibility. I think this is a key episode if you want to de-risk your business. When the pandemic hit, my revenue that year through the pandemic, my revenue actually grew because I was already online and I was able to easily transfer my in-person people online and continue my work. So if you want to de-risk your business, whether it's for health reasons, whether it's just de-risking your business because we don't know if, what will happen with viruses and bugs these days, or just being able to work with more people and create a scalable business model that takes you out of one-to-one only and allows you to work with people in the world, that episode is for you. Episode number 5 out of the top 10 is episode 250, Energetic Healing for Financial Abundance, with Gina Gyro. This is an interview with Gina, who's a practitioner. A connection was made through one of my one-to-one clients, and this is all about manifesting abundance through energetic work. You can actually, in that episode, hear her work live. She does some work with me, and that was a really powerful episode. So you can go give that episode a listen. And again, if you love that type of manifestation, abundance type work, again, come to the Manifest and Move monthly class where we can build upon and create your own practices for yourself. Episode number 6 is episode 249, Holistic Wellness and Rapid Business Growth, with one of my one-to-one clients, Marie, who is based out of in Europe in a small town. And you can really hear how she grew her in-person massage and aromatherapy practice, as well as brought in online offerings and sold out her very first few workshops in person and online. So you can really experience how a practitioner grew in a hybrid way from ground zero and utilizing workshops. So go give that episode a listen. Next, episode 7 is episode 292, From Fear to Flow, Using Failure as Fuel. And this episode is huge. Going back to all I was saying, how sometimes entrepreneurship is not easy. There are challenging. Some days we do experience really uncomfortable emotions, and there will be disappointments and failures. And it doesn't mean that anything has gone wrong. I want to normalize failure in entrepreneurship. And this episode will help you to navigate those failures so they become fuel and the mindset shifts that are needed so you can utilize those failures to actually help you grow faster instead of stopping and beating yourself up. So go give that episode a listen. Episode 291 is next. Ditch the perfect, Why Your Messy Story Sells More. And again, I'm showing this here by sharing all my vulnerable moments you can see my evolution of how, when I first was diagnosed with Lynch syndrome and cancer, how I didn't show up publicly and hid my story. And you can totally do that. You don't have to share anything. You are in complete control of what you want to share online. But at the time, I did it from a place of shame and mindset thinking that didn't serve me or my community, because by not sharing, my community missed out on powerful messages and I missed out on healing. So it's consciously knowing why you might be not sharing your story, or why you want to share your story, or when you want to share your story. To now, for example, when my brother passed away, I did take time to grieve and I didn't share the story right away, but I did share it a lot sooner, and parts of it a lot faster than I did with my diagnosis. And even now, I take you more on my journey of successes and failures and hard moments. Also, what I've seen right now on Instagram, and specifically what's trending, is the I, the me, sharing your story, the truths I learned, the mistakes I made, what I wish I knew, hooks like that, where we're sharing micro stories and micro transformations. That is really doing well in Instagram stories, Instagram reels, Instagram carousels, and any of the formats. And so it is learning how to tell your story and connect with your audience. So give that episode a listen. Then episode 290, Beyond Willpower, the energetic marketing strategy. And this is all about finding authentic marketing alignment, not forcing yourself to show up to market with willpower, but feeling compelled and inspired to show up and market. And one of my clients, Joe, is a wonderful example of this, because when he first started working with me, he's worked with me now for a few years. He really dreaded and hated marketing and hated technology, actually, too, and grew to the point where he actually started to look forward to marketing and craving it, because it really brought out connection with his audience and creativity. And I went through that own journey myself, as you see, and as I've told here on the podcast. So go, if you feel stuck with marketing and forcing yourself to do it and dreading it, then go give that episode a listen. And the last one for the top 10 is episode 286, Preventing Burnout in Your Wellness Practice. This is sustainable strategies for practitioners, which is a huge mission for me, because I think there was a reel I did on this and it was very popular, was saying the truth is, and it's not talked about, is that there are a lot of burnout and unwell wellness practitioners either working for a company or being the worst boss that they've ever had for themselves by forcing themselves to work 7 days a week, all hours of the day. As wellness practitioners, don't beat yourself up if you are in that place, but knowing that there is another option. There is a way to grow a business sustainably. There is a way to get out of a mill clinic scenario, whether it's massage or teaching, which I've been in massage mill clinics. I've been the yoga teacher going from studio to studio, teaching 15 plus classes a week and really feeling exhausted. And of course, being stuck in a mill practice with high student loan payments, where one of my paychecks didn't even cover my full student loan payment. And I was treating a lot of patients a day, sometimes 5 at a time. I've been in all those scenarios, and I can tell you that entrepreneurship for me, even though it is hard at times, is 100% better than any of those scenarios. And it's why I'm so passionate about it and teaching that you can do it in a sustainable way. So that's what I have you for today. I love to celebrate with me in this 300th episode. So send me a DM, leave me a review, share it with a friend. I would love to hear what you really love. And that will keep me going, because honestly, it is the connection with my audience and all of you that keeps me going. And of course, if you're interested in working with me more off the podcast in one of my programs, then just book your consult call and we'll talk about what that would look like for you. All right, I'll see you next week as we navigate into the 301 episode and into 300 episodes and more. I am looking forward to bringing more exciting growth. If there's special episode topics that you would love to hear, I would love to hear them. Just send me a DM or an email or leave a comment. I think with Spotify now, you can actually leave comments on the episodes and let me know what you would love to hear, and I'll definitely bring them into the episodes. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye for now.